Professor Black Ops, cybersecurity for the people. You see it. Students of color are getting flagged to their teacher because the testing software can't see them. Proctorio reportedly used facial detection software that failed to recognize black faces over half the time. Proctorio is a piece of exam software designed to keep students from cheating while taking a test. Relies on open source software that has a history of racial bias. This issue was discovered by a student who figured out how the software did facial detection and discovered that it fails to recognize black faces over half the time. Proctorio and other programs like it is designed to keep an eye on students while they're taking the test. However, many students of color have reported having issues getting the software to see their faces, sometimes having to resort to extreme measures to get the software to recognize them. This could potentially cause the student problems. Proctorio will flag them to the instructors if it doesn't detect their faces. After anecdotally hearing about these issues, teacher decided to look into the facial detection method that the software was using. He discovered that it looked and performed identically to OpenCV, an open source computer vision program that can be used to recognize faces. After learning this, he tested using OpenCV and a data set designed to validate how well machine vision algorithms did with diverse faces. The results were not good. So there's the chart. Of course, it recognized black people about 40% of the time, and it recognized white people about 70% of the time. Not only did the software fail to recognize blackface more than half the time, it wasn't particularly good at recognizing any face of any ethnicity. The highest rate was under 75%. In the report, Motherboard contacted a security researcher who was able to validate the results and analysis. Proctorio itself also confirms that it uses OpenCV, that it doesn't go into detail about how. Proctorio spokesman said the citizen test proved that the software only looks to detect faces, not recognize the identity associated with not the identity associated with the face. Where there may be a small comfort for the students relating to the Proctor software, it doesn't address the accusation of racial bias at all. This isn't the first time Proctorio has been called out for failing to recognize the first faces. The issues that caused the students of color were cited by one university as a reason why it will not renew the contract with the company. While racial bias in coding is nothing new, it is especially distressing to see it affecting students who are trying to do their schoolwork, especially in a year where remote learning is the only option available to some. So once again, we know there's issues with software, racial biases, and not recognizing faces of color. Once again, Professor Black Ops, cybersecurity for the people. Please subscribe.